We all upset, man. We are all upset. Fireballs, Rampage says. I didn't say that. I was repeating what Rampage said. What's up, Rampage? What's up, Tom? Buccaneers stunned the Buccaneers. Yes. Wasn't supposed to be this way, was it? Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm going to come at this. I'm going to try to be as positive as I can. We didn't expect to beat the Chargers. So, really, we're right where we thought we were going to be. You know, as much as you hate to say it, we are what we are. We are a what I don't even know what our record is. What, 8-7? We are a little bit above average team. And I will say this about balls. You got all these years to work with a team and be a head coach. The team should be better than average. It's just how it is. You're supposed to get better every year. We're not doing that. Chargers are mid too. Well, according to football math, okay, Denver beat us. We beat the Chargers. Chargers beat Denver. So therefore, who's the better team there? Us, Chargers, or Denver? Don't know. I tell you, I had a rough time with this game yesterday. I was at 8:20 games. I was tired when 8:20 came around. I did not get a chance to partake of my libations. I didn't start until 6. That stinks. So I was tired. What's up, Joe? So I was tired going into this game, kind of a little exhausted. I don't like these late games, man. And I don't like them because we can't win them. So anyhow, as the game was going on, I was just like, I was tired. I was watching. It looked to me like the Bucs were tired. The Cowboys definitely. I felt that. I think it looked like the Cowboys were playing for a playoff spot, and the Buccaneers were just kind of ready to go home or something. I mean, gosh, I don't want to say they played bad. I really don't. They just didn't play with as much oomph as the Cowboys did. And that's messed up because we're fighting for, if we would have won that game, playoffs pretty much wrapped up. And we would have controlled our own destiny. Now we don't control our own destiny. We got to wait. We got to hope that the Falcons lose a game going forward out of the next 2. They got to lose one, and we got to win out. So we have to have the Falcons lose a game. Hopefully the Commanders will beat the mess out of them like they did to the Eagles yesterday. And that's another thing. We talk about turnovers. In this game we had like 3 turnovers. Actually, we had like 5, but we recovered 2 of them. And people say, "Oh, the turnovers cost us the game or whatever." No, the Redskins had 5 turnovers and they won their game. You can't. That's why I get so aggravated with when people say, "Oh, it's penalties." Penalties. No, it's not penalties. It's not turnovers. It's not these stats or that stat or anything. You just got punched in the mouth. They beat you. That's what happened in that game last night. They beat us. The final score is 24-26. Cowboys Rampage. You got the closest score prediction. After the game, Lovie Smith had a presser. This is kind of off topic. Lovie Smith had a presser right after the game. I only counted 3 reporters in there, and this is at Dallas. I guess nobody else sent reporters, but anyhow, Jenna Lane got 10 out of 15 questions. I wanted to pull my hair out. How does that even happen? She got the first 4 questions to start off with, and I'm like, is there anybody else there? And then 2 other guys asked some questions, and then she jumped back in and had 6. I was like, what is going on here? Very strange. I mean, did we not send anybody? Was there nobody from Joe Bucks or Peter Report or nobody from ESPN or what? This is weird. You tuned out at halftime, Joe? This team will break your heart, man. I tell you. Um, I had somebody had put $300 on this game. I ended up losing my fantasy football money league because of this game. I needed a lottery ticket. The guy I was playing had a stacked team. He had Jaden Daniels, who got 5 touchdowns yesterday. But I had Lamar Jackson, and I was like, man, they're playing Pittsburgh. But I also had Baker Mayfield. I was like, I need a home run here, so I played Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and McMillan. Needless to say, I lost by 100 points. I got whooped. Yeah, but I had a friend of mine who lost $300 betting on this game. Yeah, the Buccaneers will break your heart. Commanders, yeah, that's going to be a slugfest. The Commanders Falcons game. I watched Penix play. Hey, what's up, Christopher? So disappointing, I know, man. I know. It hurts. Yeah, they got this. I mean, who would it is so annoying, to have these rookie quarterbacks or these no-name quarterbacks. I mean, Cooper Rush, he's been in the league for like a decade. I I don't think I don't even know what his stats are, but he's like a perennial backup, right? And comes out, puts almost 300 yards on us in the first half. I mean, it was ridiculous. I think it was 200 some yards in the first half. He of course set a record for himself. Everybody does with us. I don't get it. Don't get it. Tom doesn't want to go to the playoffs. I know. I got to start sending me to the press conferences. MK, what's up? He's got. Yeah, you mad at Todd Walls now? We beat ourselves. Christopher Cole, I tell you what, Dallas played with a lot of heart, man. I didn't see that coming. I did not see them play in as aggressive as they did. I mean, their secondary was just, they were laying some hits on us. I mean, just monster hits. And they were bringing, especially in the second half, they blitzed like almost every down. They were bringing a lot of pressure. And that brings me to Liam Cohen's play calling. Now, I have praised him all year long, but in this game, he did not do well. And I don't know if it was him or Baker, where we're really going to have to look at this on the all 22. But we were getting blitzed heavy in that second half. I mean, literally, it was almost every down. They were bringing 5, 6, 7. And we had no release valves. There was no hot reads that I saw. And this happened the whole second half. Now, I'm going to have to look on the all 22. They might have been there, and I just didn't see them. But it looked like we had, how long have I been saying this? 4 or 5 weeks now? I've been talking about how Baker has been getting the ball out so fast and just doing these short little dink and dunk throws. But in this game, he wasn't doing that. And then when we had all this pressure coming in the second half, he's looking downfield at 15, 20-yard passes. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I mean, I was like, this is the one time we're not going to have checkdowns, or one time we're not going to have hot reads. To me, it looked like we didn't have any hot reads built into any of these routes. And I don't know if it was Baker wasn't calling them, or the receivers weren't seeing them, or Liam didn't even have them in. I don't know. But I didn't see any hots at all. I saw some checkdowns with White over the middle of the field, a few times, but I don't know, man. I don't think it was a very good called game against the Dallas offensively. It was probably Liam's worst game. You might could say Denver, but I think Denver surprised everybody. I think that Dallas surprised everybody. I think we started getting punched in the mouth. We weren't expecting it. That's my That's my excuse. Uh, the big difference in this game that kind of shocked me. I did not know their kicker Aubrey was so good. I guess I should have looked it up before the game. But he has now broken the record for the most 50-yard field goals in a season. He's got 14. He went into this game with 11. He kicked three, two of them at 58 yards. And one, he had three of them. Let me see. He had a 58, a 58, and a 53. And then his fourth field goal was a 49. So it was 1 yard away from being a 50-yarder. So he almost had four 50-yard field goals on us. And let me see. He surpassed Kami Fairbairn as the most 50-yard kickers in a season. And he's still got two more games to go. This guy's going to break all kinds of records. So he's got 14 right now. It was interesting because, they started off they didn't have a single drive start under their 20. They actually averaged starting at their 30. So if you look at their kicker able to make a 50-yard field goal, we'll even say, a 60-yarder, 50, we'll say 55-yarders, right? Consistently. That means he only has to get to the 40. You start at the 30, you only got to get to the 40. So that's 20. You only got to go 30 yards to score 3 points. Is that right? 30 to 50, that's 20. And then 25. Yeah. 40, that would be a 57-yarder from the 40. Yeah, so you only got to go 30 yards. You only got a 30-yard drive. And then you get 3 points. That was a big difference in this game. I mean, they were able to kick 50-yard field goals like it was nothing. So they didn't have to really drive that far. And plus they started off in the, around the 30 instead of around the 20. Now we had 3 drives that started beyond at the under 20 yards. Let me see. I wrote this down. I got to find it. Let me see. We had 3 drives start within our 10, if I remember correctly. And they were all in the fourth quarter. Where I had this. Okay. The Cowboys never started under their own 20. Their average starting was on their 30. Buccaneers had 3 drives start under their own 20. We started at the 3-yard line, the 9-yard line, and the 13-yard line. All of those were in the fourth quarter. Our average starting was on our own 25. So, big difference there. When they only have to go 30 or 40 yards to score points and we have to go 60, that's a big difference. Some other things. We did stuff their run game. They had 20 attempts for 31 yards. We had 23 attempts for 134 yards. So our run game was clicking. Their run game was stuffed. Dallas forced 3 fumbles and interception. Bucks had 4 turnovers and got none. Commanders committed 5 turnovers and 1. So can't blame it on turnovers. It doesn't help though, does it? Here's all the categories we won in. We won in third down efficiency. We were 50% to their 33%. We won in net yards, 410 yards to 317. Total offensive plays. Here's a big one. We had 70 offensive plays. They had 56. That's a big, huge difference. Yards per play. We had 5.9 to their 5.7. Rushing, 134 yards to 31 yards. Touchdowns, we scored 3. They only scored 2. And time of possession, we had 32 minutes and 48 seconds compared to 27 minutes and 12 seconds. The Cowboys did have more passing yards, 276 to 286, and yards per pass. Here was a big one, 5.9 to 7.9. So they had almost 2 yards, 3 yards. Wait a minute, 6. They had 2 yards per pass to ours. Field goals 1 to 4, and sacks 1 to 4, and turnovers. So they beat us in field goals, sacks, passing yards, yards per pass, and turnovers. The Cowboys had 5 possessions in the fourth quarter. 3 were 3-and-outs. 1 was 5 plays for 23 yards, and 1 was 3 plays for the victory formation, kneel down. So our defense was very stout in the fourth quarter. They only scored 3 points in the second half. So our defense was pretty stout there in the second half, surprisingly. We had 9 plays over 15 yards. The Cowboys only had 5. So we almost doubled them on that. Talking about the defense again. Why were we throwing so much in the beginning? I know it was like we did. And why did we get away from the run game? The run game was killing it. When we were giving it to Bucky, he was just killing it. And then we just got away from it. Now, I understand we were down 2 scores. And that's another thing that kind of drove me crazy is, we go for it early in the game and we don't make it. Sterling Shepard hit him right in the chest. He dropped the ball. We had a lot of stuff like that happen. But then late in the game, 4th and 6 from our own 27, and we kicked a field goal. We were down 2 scores. We kicked a field goal. We were still down 2 scores. I did not understand that at all. I'm like, go for the touchdown. You're at the 27-yard line. Go for the touchdown. Fourth, I think it was 3rd and 5. So it would have been 4th and 5 from our own 27. Go for it. That field goal really didn't help out a whole lot. A smidge maybe, but I'm like, we still need 2 scores. Didn't understand that one. I thought Kalijah Kancey played great. I'm excited to watch him on the. My daughter's putting money under the door. Is that your money you want me to put in the bank? Yeah. Okay, sweetie. She just shoved her Christmas money under the door. She wants me to put it in the bank for her. She's so cute. I thought Kancey played great. I was watching him and Vita. I was watching the line. And we were beating them. Kancey was beating them almost every down. He was just able to get the ball out. It's what I've been saying all year long. It's like our defensive front is getting pressure. We're beating guys. But quarterbacks are just able to just throw the ball basically wherever they want. Right into coverage, right into our guy. They don't care. Nobody's scared of our secondary at all. Cooper Rush is not scared of our secondary. Kancey played 95% of the defensive snaps. He played 57 snaps. I think that's the most he's ever played. Vita played 48 snaps, which was 80% of the defensive snaps. I saw somebody said PFF had Vita Vea graded higher than any of our cornerbacks in coverage. That was funny. Rush kept throwing right to the empty linebacker hole. Yeah, David did not have a good game in coverage. There was one play I saw where he fell down in coverage to Ferguson, and Ferguson ended up getting quite a lot of yardage, and then they ended up kicking a 50-yard field goal. And I was thinking, I was complaining. I've been complaining here the last half of the season about David blitzing so much, and I'm like, I don't like it. But then I got, after watching this game, I'm like, maybe it's for the best. Maybe he's just lost a step in coverage, or he's just not there mentally, in the coverage and the tackling and reading the plays. Maybe blitzing it, maybe it's a good idea for him to be blitzing because he's been pretty effective with it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting time to watch this all 22. I know there was a couple plays where I saw open receivers downfield. What's up, Blues Miller? Craig, what's up? I saw open receivers downfield that Baker Mayfield didn't throw to. He either got sacked or he checked down. One play, well, the play where he fumbled, there was two receivers open downfield. Mike Evans was open going across the middle, and it looked like McMillan was open on a go route on the left-hand side. But we'll see on the all 22. Uh, Mayfield to me seemed very frantic in this game. Now they were blitzing, and sometimes they were beating our guys. Our guys were stumbling over each other more than usual, and I saw we saw Wirfs twist his ankle out of nowhere. He just like stepped wrong and fell down, and then was like laying there for the whole play. Mayfield had to jump over him actually because he was just laying there. And I saw one where Mock just got bowled over, but it was because his foot hit Gedicke's foot and caused him to have his feet real close together. So he just got plowed over. But I felt like Baker was very frantic in this game. He definitely scrambled a few times when he didn't have to. I don't know. I don't think he had that good of a game. And he threw some bad decisions. He threw a couple that should have been intercepted. Payne Durham played 93% of the offensive snaps. He played 67 snaps. So he basically took K. Dotton's spot. I think he did a pretty good job. Diaby played 92% of the defensive snaps compared to Tryon, who only played half the defensive snaps. So they're rotating Tryon out, but they're not rotating Diaby out. Logan Hall played only 29 defensive snaps. Logan Hall was not listed as a starter in this game. They had three safeties listed as a starter, and one of those safeties took Logan Hall's spot as a starter. I found that very interesting. Let me see. Let me catch up. Yeah, Levante fell down, missed some tackles. He did not look sharp in this game. Last week he looked great, but this week, man. Okay, I'd rather have Ronald McDonald. That makes me hungry, man. Now I'm hungry. Uh, yeah, yeah. They need 30 yards on their drive, and we give them 10 every time because we play 10 yards off the ball. Uh, oh yeah, that McMillan pass that was so. I complained about him at the beginning of the year because of plays like this where he's just not fighting, he's not aggressive and all that. In the past couple games, he's had really good games. So I went and picked him up in fantasy football. I was like, I need a lottery ticket, so I put him in my flex. I was like, this guy's going to he's going to get better every year. And then he went. He ended up getting that one touchdown pass. That was a nice catch. Kind of a bad pass by Mayfield. It was low, but McMillan scooped it up. Great touchdown pass. But then that one, it was a touchdown pass. He should have fought for it. That guy snatched it right out of his arms. You got to fight for those, man. You can't let that happen. You cannot let that happen. We had that happen. Mayfield fumbled it. Basically the same thing. They just yanked it right out of his arms. Rashad White, the last offensive play we had. Oh, that would hurt so bad. I mean, he just had it yanked right out of his hand. And then the McMillan, they just had it ranked. Hey, what's up, Dina? He just had it yanked right out of his hands. The Dallas just played. That was the difference in the game, I thought. Dallas came to punch us in the mouth, and we didn't. I think we were in shock. I think we were like, holy crap, these guys are playing serious. They shouldn't have been. They were out of the playoffs. We were fighting to stay in the playoffs, keep our division spot, man. And they just punched us in the mouth this game. Sterling Shepard dropping that fourth down pass was really kind of set the tone. I felt, you were like, what? And then we had that. We were just doing stuff like that this whole game while they were just punching us in the mouth. It was actually very surprising that we were in it at the end. It was 24-26. I was like just sitting there going, if we win this game, it's going to be a freak of nature. We do not deserve to win this game because they were playing better football than we were. It seemed like they wanted it more. I do feel like I really do. Our D line has been playing great this last half of the season. Cansey, man, I'm telling you, we're going to see it on all 22. I was watching him, and he was beat almost every down. He was beating guys. They eventually started double teaming him because he was just whooping everybody. But again, he'd bust through, and the quarterback would just throw it to somebody, and they'd be wide open, or they'd be covered and just catch the ball. It's so annoying. I know the defensive line has got to be so upset about that. Yeah. Okay. I wrote this down. I said Baker played too frantic. I think that's Baker's biggest drawback. I love Baker Mayfield. I think he's great. But when he gets frantic, I think he makes bad decisions. And he plays too fast sometimes. He's just like, And with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, he almost threw an interception to Shepard in the middle of the field. The Dallas Cowboys guy had his hands right on it, and he dropped it. Then the very next play on third down, he throws a check down to White to the right side. But on the left side, they had set up a beautiful screen pass to McMillan. We had two offensive linemen ran over there. We had Mike Evans was out there blocking, and I want to say Sterling Shepard was out there blocking. Another wide receiver. So we had four guys over there and only three defenders. And McMillan could have just got that ball. We had four blockers, three defenders. And McMillan was standing there waiting for the pass. But for some reason, Mayfield threw it to White over to the right side, and he was not able to get the third down. I think if he would have thrown it to the other side, he would have. He was just playing frantic, I think. He wasn't really looking. Don't know what that's about. Sometimes he'll do it. He'll just get going too fast. 4:54 in the second quarter was when Worst twisted his ankle on that play. Baker ended up getting sacked on that, and it took us out of field goal range. But he had Evans open going across the middle, but he didn't see it because he was scrambling. And I'm pretty sure he had McMillan doing a go route down the left side who was open too. So we'll see that. We'll see it on the all 22. A lot of people talked about missed tackles. And as a matter of fact, Bowles talked about this in his press conference. Yeah, we had missed tackles, no doubt about it. We've had missed tackles all year long. But I don't think they were as dastardly in this game as they have been in some of our games. And that's another thing. Bowles talked about this in his press conference, that fundamentals. The problem with this game was fundamentals. And then on Sirius XM this morning, he kind of threw McMillan and Dean under the bus by saying those two guys were too busy looking in the backfield and didn't do what they were supposed to do. And again, he said fundamentals. The issue was fundamentals. He said tackling was an issue. Guys, fundamentals, he kept saying in the press conference. The problem, we lost because of lack of fundamentals. And I'm like, okay, you've been head coach for 3 years now. And, we're in week 17 and fundamentals are still a problem. I don't think that's the win you think it is. You're trying to throw the players under the bus, but to me, that is a coaching issue. If the players can't get the fundamentals down, that is a coaching issue. Gross feeling today, Craig? Yeah. Yes, Blues. Yeah, the Mike Evans dropped that one ball because who was it? Number 6? Was it number 6? I wrote it down. Wilson. Yeah, Wilson. That's the guy when we watched all 22. I was like, that guy's good. Number 6, Wilson. And he had 2 big plays in this game. He hit Evans on that big pass in the third quarter and just knocked it. And that doesn't happen to Evans. But he clobbered Evans. And then he sacked Baker in the fourth quarter, 10-24. He come running off the right side, Baker's right side, the offense's right side. At number 6, Wilson came running, and Baker was looking right at him, but Baker was like stunned. He was like a deer in the headlights. He was just like, he didn't know what to do, you know? And Wilson just sacked him. It was weird. Hey, Kate, what's up? But yeah, the Dallas defense was clobbering. They were hitting us hard. that's how I fund the channel. That's the only way I can be here is taking money from my daughter. I put the money in the bank. That's funny. Buck secondary was covering that grass, man. That grass ain't never gonna catch a ball on our defense. Yeah, I saw Yaya Diaby standing uh, about 15 yards downfield one time on the on the opposite side where the play was happening, just kind of standing there. And I was like, yeah, that's Buccaneers defense. I think Mock has played so much better this year, Craig. I know we'll argue to death to that one. He did get whooped a couple times in this game though. Dino got sad fast, man. Yeah, I've complained about special teams forever. We just, we just don't focus on it. I don't feel like. Watching the Oakland game, they really focus on special teams. They're doing something over there. They're trying anyhow. And then this Dallas game, you watch the kickers and the special teams were just killing it. You watch who is it? Washington had, they got like 5 blocked punts this year or something. You're like, why aren't we doing anything with our special teams? What do special teams coaches do? If they're not doing stuff like that, are they just like, okay, here's the thing, guys, just catch the ball and don't fumble it. That's how I feel most special teams coaches are for the Buccaneers. They're like, just catch the ball, don't fumble it, and run out of bounds, or just go down the field and tackle the guy with the ball. We'll find out on the all 22 how many times guys were all wide open across the middle. It seemed like way too many. Did his uniform even get dirty? That's a good question, Joe. Can't see if Villa played well. I thought so too, Blues. They were getting through. They were beating their guys quite a bit, man. And then, of course, there was that Vita Vea tackle when he went back in coverage. He did that in I think it was the Detroit game. Remember he hit that guy on the goal line? And the guy actually fumbled the ball because Vita went back in coverage and then he came up to hit him and that guy, the ball just came out. Vito, big boy. Oh gosh, Nelson dropped into coverage on Lamb. Uh, yeah. Kate comes in immediately, fireballs. Yep. Well, Craig, they were blitzing the second half almost every down. They blitz. They were bringing 5, 6, 7, and we just didn't have anything. We didn't have any hot reads or nothing. It was very strange. I this was probably Liam Cohen's worst called game. I think one, he got away from the run. Run was working. I get it. We were down 2 scores, but the run was working, and it would have drawn guys, their secondary up, and we could have hit some stuff behind me. We just abandoned the run too quick, I thought. And I don't know if it was him, Mayfield, or the receivers, but with all that blitzing they did, I didn't see hardly any hot routes, you know, and it was just, Baker didn't have guys to throw to, but yet he's got seven guys coming right at him, and he's looking downfield at these routes. And, I've been complaining how, Baker's been throwing these quick, short routes, for the past 4 or 5 weeks and not letting them develop. And then in this game, he's not throwing the quick, short routes. He's looking for developing routes downfield while he's got seven guys coming in after him. It was just, I think we got caught off guard. We definitely got outcoached in this game, and we got outplayed. I mean, they were just more physical. They punched us in the mouth, and we didn't have any answer for it. I don't think we expected it. I think it was kind of like the Denver game. We expected it to be a little bit easier than it was. We didn't expect them to come out and play so ferocious, man. Yeah, right. Kate, yeah, that makes more sense. I said he's been head coach for 3 years, but he's been coaching this defense for what? Yeah, 5, 6 years. Fundamentals should not be an issue. Communication should not be an issue. Tackling should not be an issue. If you got an issue with those things, then you got an issue of coaching those things, because you got plenty of time to get those right. Yeah, I agree with you, Craig. Yes, Baker's biggest issue is not throwing the ball away when he should. Sometimes, man, you just got to, just move on to the next play. He gets frantic, I feel like, and he's got to play hero ball. Sometimes you just got to just throw it away. Throw it in the dirt, throw it out of bounds, I know I saw that, Joe. I don't, there was quite a few offensive pass interference in this game that wasn't called. I felt definitely that the one with Zion, he did definitely push him in the back. And McCollum was looking for the penalty after the play. But they called holding on Zion, and I didn't see it. If they did show it, because they only showed the replay from the back, from like the line of scrimmage, looking that way, and you could see Zion had his arm like in front of Lamb, but I didn't really see Lamb move. He might have grabbed him from the front, but they never replayed it to where you could see it. So maybe we'll get to see it on the all 22. We'll have that angle from the end zone and from the other side. I wish I could get the all 22 that has both end zone angles. I didn't even know that existed until last year. Yeah, how does Cooper Rush throw 300 yards on us? Did he get 300? It was close. If it wasn't 300, it was close to 300. Let me see. I've got the game book pulled up here. Cooper Rush threw for 292 yards. Most he's ever thrown for. And I think 200 and some of that was in the first half. First half summary. Let me see. Yeah, 220. He had 220 in the first half. That was a record for him too. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, why are we? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. 226 yards in the first half. How do we do this? Any quarterback could just, it doesn't matter who you are, how bad you are. We're just going to give you some great stats, man. Great stats. Goodness. That hurts. I don't even want to look at that anymore. So now, so third quarter, the score is 14-23. 14-23. We're on the Cowboys 25. They rushed 5. Mayfield scrambles. He didn't need to when he scrambled there. He got frantic there. Almost throws an interception. But then Gedeke was flagged for holding. It moved us back to the 35. Next play, they blitz six. Barton was beat almost immediately on that. Baker scrambles and fumbles. Cowboys recover, but out of bounds. So the Bucs got the ball on their 44. So we started off on Cowboys 25 in field goal range. We ended up on our 44, 3rd and 40. How does that even happen? How do you get a 3rd and 40? You start off on the Cowboys 25 in field goal range. And then you end up, next thing you know, you're 3rd and 40 on your 44. And we ended up having to punt it. This is weird. And then the first play right after that, we punt it. Cowboys get the ball. Their first offensive possession. They get a big pass and catch into Bucs territory and then kick a 50 plus yard field goal. Those 50 plus yard field goals is what killed us, man. Like I said, they only had to go 30 yards. Yeah, Cooper Rush looked very confident. Oh, I do. I call them the Redskins. They're going to go back to the Redskins. I guarantee it. Who calls them the Commanders, man? I don't even know what that means. I grew up with them as the Redskins. But then again, I also grew up with the Baltimore Colts, the St. Louis Cardinals. I have a habit of doing that. I'll say Baltimore Colts. Be like, oh yeah, they're in Indianapolis now. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Cardinals, I do that all the time. I'm like St. Louis Cardinals. Oh no, wait, where are they? They're Arizona. How's that even happen? The Raiders. For the past couple of years, I still call them the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, it's true, Rampage. Not many games where we don't get out coached. It's so weird. How do we beat the Detroit Lions, the Washington Redskins, the Philadelphia Eagles, and then we lose to a out of the playoffs Cowboys, Denver Broncos, the mid Atlanta Falcons twice. You just this team we can't be better than average. It seems like, and it's so annoying. I feel like we've got talent's not the issue. I don't feel like talent's the issue. I really don't, especially on offense. I think on offense we're killing it. Oh, that game! I was watching that Phoenix game, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, are the Giants going to stop him?" I mean, it was an embarrassment. They just slaughtered the Giants. It wasn't even a game. Dino, man, I don't know. It's not up to us now. When we win the division, we can only win the division if the Falcons lose one of the next two. They've got to lose against the Commanders or the Redskins, and because I doubt who they played last the last week of the season. I think they played the Panthers. Who do we play? The Saints. So we got the Panthers and the Saints coming up. Let me check and make sure that's right. Yes. Okay. So they've got the Panthers week. The Panthers might try to spoil them. Who knows? Uh, but most likely the Panthers are not going to be playing hard. Uh, I think they have to lose to the Commanders, and we got to win out. All 22 is out. All right, I'll set it up. We'll start watching it tomorrow. I got time to do it today. Yeah, they give us a nail biter every year at the end. You got to remember this is entertainment. I guess that's a good thing. But man, I feel like at this point we should definitely be waltzing into the playoffs every year and doing deep runs. I mean, we got to be thankful that Baker Mayfield is the quarterback he is, and we went from Jameis Winston, to Tom Brady, and then Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. So we've been very fortunate to have three really good quarterbacks. And I know a lot of people don't think James Winston is a good quarterback. He's not in a certain aspect, but he won us a lot of games and he made it exciting. So, but basically what I'm saying is we haven't had crappy quarterbacks for the past while. And we should be very thankful for that. We should be very thankful that we got Baker Mayfield. But I want to see us, dominate. I mean, we're in a garbage division. We should be easily 10 wins every year. Next year's going to be tough because Atlanta's going to be a much tougher team than they are this year, I think. And who knows what's going to happen with the Saints, and the Panthers can only get better, I guess. I guess they could stay the same way they are, but we should be winning 10 games a season easy. And we can't because we're just mid. And even when we go into the playoffs, I'm not confident we're going to beat anybody. And I don't like this feeling. I want to feel like we're going to win every game. It is entertaining, man. And when it comes down to it, it's entertainment. I just hate this feeling. I don't like the feeling I had last night. Pretty much all game. I was just like, what? Crappy quarterback has a career day against the genius Bulls defense. Who would ever have guessed? It's never happened before. That's the weird thing about it. I heard, actually, I was reading an article today, and they were talking about how they were saying that it just seems like Todd Bowles doesn't plan for offenses. He doesn't adjust depending on the offense. And I've been saying this for years. He doesn't. He has his defense. He's going to play his defense no matter what. And I'm telling you, he pulls plays out of a hat. Because you just can't sit there and look at some of these calls and go, that makes sense at all. It's got to be he's just randomly calling plays. I think sometimes he does take over and he'll call a play based on a situation, but I think for the most part, man, he's just rolling dice. He's got his play sheet and he just rolls dice. And I'm over it. I'm tired of it, man. Let me look at that. I might be talking out of the side of my neck on that one with Cooper Rush. But I mean, he's been in the league for like a decade. He's a perennial backup, right? Oh my gosh, has he been? He's been with Dallas this whole time. Since 2017. So that's been 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. All of them with Dallas. And he's thrown for 3,000 yards in that time. 3,316. Let's look. Yards. Yeah, he had 354 yards against Houston this year. You are correct. So he did have a better game against Houston. 354 yards. He had 3 touchdowns against Carolina, so there's that. But he had 55 attempts against Houston too. He only had 35 attempts against us. Oh my goodness. That was amazing to me when I saw that we had 70 offensive plays and they only had 56. That's a huge difference. I really want to look at the hot reads though, man, because I swear we didn't have them. We just didn't have them, and I don't know if it was Baker didn't call them out, you know, or wide receivers didn't see the blitzes, and adjust to their hot routes, or that Liam just didn't have them in. But I didn't see any. I mean, I saw some check downs to the running backs, but that I don't recall seeing any receiver change his route short, and they blitzed like the whole second half. So I really want to look at that in the all 22 because I swear it seemed like every down they just blitzed in the second half. Oh, JJ Russell almost had that interception. He should have had it. Hit him right in the chest in the fourth quarter, 6-14. See, we had so many plays like that. It's like Russell Shepard with that fourth down play. Hit him right in the numbers, man. And I think he had a dropped pass later, too. And then he had that hamstring in the second half, and I don't think he came back in. I will say his introductory video was probably the best introductory video I've ever seen. He had his two daughters. I love that. That was awesome, man. That was great. I was clapping. I was like, yeah. That fourth quarter tackle by Tyke Smith was great. It was at 2:30 in the fourth quarter. He got off that block and made that tackle. That was great. I mean, I feel like our defense, kind of stepped up and started playing really aggressive, but it was a little too late. And like I said, they held them to 3 points in the second half, and in the fourth quarter, they didn't get like hardly any yardage. We had three and outs on them, and then another drive was 5 yards or five plays for like 38 yards and a punt. So our defense kind of stepped up there, but and again, this is I think the third time this year, definitely the second, where the offense had the ball and lost the game for us. They could have went down and scored, but didn't. I want to say it was the 49ers game. I want to say there was 3 games where offense had the ball at the end, could have scored, went down the field and scored, and they couldn't or didn't. Let me see. We had drops, fumbles, just dumb football all the way around. Shepard dropping that a fourth down early. Like I said, I feel like it kind of set the tone that we were going to make mistakes like that throughout the game, and we did. Durham fumbled. That one was recovered by Mayfield. Baker missed a lot on the deep balls. I felt like he missed seeing receivers. I definitely know on some of those scrambles, I saw, like I said, I saw a wide open Mike Evans running across the middle on one sack, and McMillan running a go route down the left side. He was open. Didn't see that. Coverage breakdowns, of course. We just had them all year long, just bad ones. McMillan getting the ball taken from him, White getting the ball taken from him, Baker getting the ball taken from him. Punt return mistakes. Remember, Trey Palmer, he fields the ball. He should have let the ball go into the end zone, but he fielded it at like the 4 and then immediately got tackled. And then Izzian, 29, got called for I think it was a crackback block, which it was. And so that put us on like the 3, so that was horrible. Russell dropping the interception right in his gut. We had put a lot of pressure on Cooper Rush, but again, he was just able to dump the ball down or throw to an open receiver, or sometimes throw to, that one he threw deep to Lamb. Dean, Dean was that far from batting that away. I mean, he had his hand out there, and then Izzy, I mean, Lamb was basically double covered, but Rush just had no fear whatsoever, just threw it right to him. So our pass rush was, we were beating our guys, but again, like I've been complaining about all season long, our front is getting pressure, but quarterback's able to just throw it to any receiver he wants. The timeout call in the half. Why did Bowles call that timeout? I was like, why are you calling a timeout? He called a timeout. The very next play, we score and we give them, I think it was 45 seconds left to go down the field, and they kicked a field goal. I was like, why do we do this all the time? I mean, that's like the fourth game I could think of where we've called a timeout and given our opponent the ball back with time to go down the field and score. Which is bad. That's bad game management, I would think. Uh, yeah, and the way Cowboys were playing, you know, uh, they had all they needed to do was go like 40 yards and then kick a field goal. So we were giving them all this underneath stuff, and it just kind of worked out for them. It almost worked out perfect for them. It's almost like they saw how we play defense and went, well, we're just gonna matriculate down the field 40 yards and then kick field goals. That's going to be our whole game. And it worked for them. It seemed to work out very well for them, I thought. We just played the same defense we always play. And then, giving up that soft, playing that soft zone, giving it up underneath. Although I did see us play some press man coverage more than we normally do. But Bowles blaming the fundamentals, the tackling, coverage, holding the ball, not fumbling it, miscommunication. That's on him at this point. That's on the Bowles 100%. When he says that, what I'm hearing is, I'm not a very good coach. I can't get these guys to understand the fundamentals. You've been a coach coaching these same guys, the same defense for what, 5, 6 years now? Fundamentals should not be the problem. Yeah, Barton was snapping it all over the place. Which, that's supposed to happen earlier in the season, not week 17. Man, if we lose to Carolina, yeah, if we lose to Carolina, Bowles will definitely get fired. No doubt about it. Yeah, Joe, right? That win against the Chargers, great win. That was a great, great win. We played a good defense that played a very good game, and we dominated them. It was a good game. Maybe not so much on the defensive side of the ball. The defense played our defense. I don't think the Chargers played very good offense. Uh, I feel like they lost that game offensively more so, but our offense killed their defense, and that was a really good game. So we expected to lose to the Chargers. We won to the Chargers. We expected to win Dallas. We lost. So, we're really right where we thought we were going to be. It just hurts. I want to be controlling our own destination and walking into the playoffs with our head up high. Not backing into the playoffs, hoping we don't get whooped in the first. Oh yeah, so okay, 2 home games. Yeah, we got 2 home games. What do the Falcons have? Are they away? Let me look. That'll be nice. We need all the help we can get here. Hopefully they got to go to Commanders and play. Yes, it is. It's at Washington. And then they're at home against Carolina. All right. So that's a little bit better. Commanders are a grass field, very slow field. So we'll see how that affects the Falcons, who like to play on that concrete. That would be cool, Joe. Yeah, flex us or the Falcons so we play at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that about Cooper Rush. He didn't play bad. That's for sure. And that all 22 we saw, he didn't play bad. He seems like a good game manager. But I mean, gosh, he's been in the league for 7 years as a backup. Tyke he is a good player. Oh my gosh, Bowles would probably make Dalton look like Tom Brady. Did we blitz a lot, or did we blitz the normal amount that we normally blitz? We have to look on the all 22 and see that. I do feel like the defense played better in the second half. It's kind of. I really feel like we got caught off guard by how physical they played on both sides of the ball, and it took us a while to adapt to that. I don't even know if we ever really did. Yeah, our defense just gives up too much. I don't like it. It's annoying. And when you got a team like the Dallas Cowboys, which I didn't notice this, when we watched all 22, I didn't really pay attention to the special teams. I didn't look at the stats. But, they got a guy, a kicker, who has the record for most 50-yard kicks in the season. And they've only got to go, if they can get the ball at the 30, start at the 30, and they only got to go to their opponent's 40, that's only 30 or 40 yards they got to go in one series. And they score points. And with Todd Bowles' defense, his defense is kind of that bend but don't break, and we get into the red zone, and then we stop them, we force them to kick field goals. They were fine with that. They were like, we'll do that real quick. We'll go 30, 40 yards, kick a field goal, and then just do that all night. We're fine. We're good with that. That's what they did. They did get one touchdown, right? Or two. I think they got two. But yeah, he kicked four field goals. Three of them were over 50, and the other one was 49 yards. So it was almost a 50. Rampage, you're ready to move on for balls? I kind of am too, to be honest with you. You know, I I've had fun watching the all 22 with Todd Bowles because you never know what you're going to get. It's always a mess back there. It's fun trying to figure it out. Scotty Luck, what's up, brother? Yeah, we can't win in primetime, man. We can't do it. We've lost 8 primetime games. I think everyone since Baker's been here. I don't think Baker's won a primetime game with us. I thought for sure we were going to win this one, though. We should have. We should have. Dallas came out playing hard, though, man. I mean, they were just playing physical football. Punched us in the mouth, bloodied us up, man. I got to be confident we're going to beat Carolina. I can't. If I thought we were going to lose to Carolina, I'd just shut the channel down, man. Be like, I'll see y'all guys after we lose, after we get another coach. I gotta be that confident anyhow, man. Carolina, come on, with their high school quarterback. Yeah, yeah, Tom, you messaged me that, and I was like, yeah, good point. If Lamb wouldn't have been injured, he probably would have put up 250 yards on us. Because he ended up going over 100, right? He was, let me see what his stats were. He ended up with, 105. He had 8 targets, 7 receptions, 15 yards per catch, a long of 52. Man, what the, okay, listen to these targets and receptions. Lamb had 8 targets, 7 receptions. So he didn't catch one. Ferguson had 9 targets, 6 receptions. So he didn't catch 3. But then everybody else caught all their balls. Cooks, 3 targets, 3 receptions. Flournoy, 3 targets, 3 receptions. Dowdle, 3 targets, 3 receptions. Tolbert, 3 targets, 1 reception. Turpin, 1 target, 1 reception. Schoonemaker, 1 target, 1 reception. Okay. Lepke had 2 targets, 0 receptions. So they didn't do too bad. We were all over the place. Shepard had 3 targets. He only had 1 reception. Ooh. Palmer had 4 targets, 2 receptions. Man, all over the place. Oh, I just I'm ready for him to leave. I'm just not going to call for him to be fired yet. I did that last year. Then he showed me up, man. He got us out of that streak, took us to the playoffs. We beat the Eagles, came close to beating the Lions. Very surprising end of the season. So maybe that'll happen again. I really thought there for a brief second in this Dallas game that we were going to come back and win it. You know, when we got the ball 24-26 with a minute and so left to march down the field, I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to come back and win this. That only lasted for one play. But, I thought, maybe Bowles will pull the same mess he did last year, where we went undefeated towards the end of the year and then went into the playoffs. But man, I am just so over this. Losing games we should win, winning games we should lose. Watching bad defense. I'm a defensive guy. I like good defense. Man. It's hard to watch this crap. Yeah. I feel like we've reached the ceiling with balls. I mean, with balls, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a 8-9, 9-8 team every year. You know. I mean, that's what he gave us with Tom Brady. You go from what were we, 12-5 with Tom Brady, and we ended up being 8-9. How do you do that? It's just embarrassing with Tom Brady. Kate doesn't care if we make a playoff game this year. Come on, man. Yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship with Bulls. They get a job, get their act together, and just when you're ready to leave, and then they go back to their old habits once everything calms down. Yeah, that's Todd Bowles. That's funny. We are all in an abusive relationship with Todd Bowles. Oh my gosh. Everybody's done with Bowles. Man. We got any Bowles defenders in here? I'm not defending Bowles, but I'm not calling for him to be fired yet. I won't be mad if he got fired. Let's put it that way. We got to keep Liam Cohen. I mean, I would say this is probably his worst called game, you know, but we got to keep him. And if that means making him a head coach, I'm all for it. We can't let Cohen go. Oh, I got you. Still got another chance to crush Canales' hopes and dreams. Yeah, going in this season, That's what I said. I was like, I don't care if we make the playoffs or not. I just want to sweep Canales. But, I feel so much better with Liam. I'm kind of happy now that Canales is gone. It's like the best thing could happen to our team. Kate, wouldn't that just annoy you so bad if we did win and we got all the way to the NFC Championship and we lose and Bowles is here for another year? We have another year like this next year. Ugh. The announcers did love that game last night. They were like, "This is one of the best games we've had all year." And the Thursday night game, the announcers said the same thing. It was the best game we've had all year. And that's the thing about getting the primetime games is you get exposure to fans that don't normally get to see you. So it's a chance to increase your fan base, but you got to win. People like winners. I think Baker has brought a lot of fans in now. Although I know some people that don't like Baker Mayfield because they said he was too cocky at the Browns. I didn't really know anything about him. The only thing I knew about him was that commercial. I think it was an Allstate commercial or something where he was like, the Brown Stadium was his house. That's the only thing I knew about Baker Mayfield. That's a LMH. What's up, brother? That is the most aggravating thing to me, and I don't like it because I'm a defensive guy. But we have a defense that just can't stop people. You leave somebody 45 seconds on the clock, and they're going to march down the field and score on you. That's what they did in this game. Why did Bowles call that timeout? He was asked that today, and he just kept saying because the offense needed it. Like, that's not an answer. Why did the offense need it? It didn't make any sense to me. He does that. Sometimes he won't call timeouts when we need them, and then other times he'll call timeouts when we don't need them. As soon as he did that, I was like, look, we're going to score. We're going to leave them time on the clock. Then they're going to march down the field and score. And that's exactly what happened. It's like, how many times has that happened this year? How many times has that happened since Bowles has been here? I don't understand it. And I don't understand why we kicked a field goal. We were down 2 scores. We were at our 27. We had gone for it on 4th down earlier and threw it to a wide open Sterling Shepard. It bounced off his chest. But yet we're down 2 scores and we're on our 27, 3rd and 5 or 4th and 5, and we decided to kick a field goal, which after we kicked the field goal, guess what? We were still down 2 scores. I didn't understand that. I was like, why wouldn't you just go for it there? You gotta score twice anyhow. Didn't make any sense to me. After we scored that field goal, we needed a touchdown and a field goal. Didn't make any sense to me. I guess he just didn't want to not put points on the board. Last in point scored defense? Probably are, man, because it just seems like teams can score on us at will. Although, again, I'll say this. Oh man, I missed it. Uh, our defense did lock them down in the 4th quarter of this game. They had 3 3-and-outs and then a 5-play series where they went 38 yards. So, defense did step it up. But again, they were playing with the lead. They were running the ball. They were just trying to run time off the clock. Tom likes Collinsworth. I can't stand Collinsworth. He's just trolling us. When was Tom done with Bowles? That's a tough one. when we gave Kansas City time to come down, march down the field and score on us, but they didn't. They almost did. Kansas City game. Rampage guest. We lost to Dallas in the wild card. Oh, that was a tough one, man. Because that was 100% on our defense. Our defense just got beat up in that game. Rampage, you were incorrect. The Rams NFC. Yes, I bet that's what it was. The Rams game. Back when he was defensive coordinator and he called that uh, zero blitz, full on blitz, right? Yeah, yeah. Leo might not be ready, but we can't lose him. I just don't want to lose him. Oh yeah, not trusting Brady. Yes. What was it he said about that game? He didn't want to throw. He could have thrown an interception. It's like he was on a streak. He hadn't thrown an interception in like forever. And Bowles was like, "Yeah, we didn't want to take a chance and have him throw and turn the ball over." It's like it's Tom Brady. uh, right? Yeah, he did it with C.J. Stroud too. C.J. Stroud was putting up a record game on us, and he calls timeout, gives Stroud the ball. But Stroud went down the field and scored a touchdown, won the game. It's like, are you serious? It was the Rams game. Yeah, Rams game. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow. Although I will say this, I still think that was on Levante David. Well, I'm gonna have to bring up that all 22. But in that all 22, Levante David was supposed to blitz, and he didn't. He just stood there. He was being pissy about something. And I think it was a couple plays right before that. But and Domagong Su almost got to Stafford. Matter of fact, Stafford was on his back foot with Stu in his face. That's why I'm saying if Levante would have blitzed as well, I think Levante would have got there in time. Levante was being pissy, I think. Didn't do anything. Yeah, we'll have to look at that all 22. It was a very, very interesting series, that Rams game. The refs screwed us on it. Did he say that, Blues Miller? That he wants to be a head coach? Call me at the end of the season, yeah. So he's telling the rest of the NFL, call me. I didn't know he had said that. Ah, man. Dino, we can't lose him. He's definitely going to get a lot of interest by teams around the league for head coaching jobs in the offseason. So we're going to have to promote him to head coach or pay him a crap ton of money to stay as offensive coordinator for a couple years and promise him the head coaching job, which if he was smart, that's what he would do. But coaches don't do that anymore. I believe that too, Joe. I think they did that with Shiano. I think they did it with um, uh, Morris, Raheem Morris. And they might have done it with Lovey too. Although I'm not sure Lovey didn't tell them to do it. Making him head coach didn't make any sense to me either, Tom. His track record at the Jets wasn't the best. He doesn't have that umph I feel like you need. Kind of like Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy was a great head coach, but would fail in the playoffs every year. And he didn't have that thing you got to have when you get to the playoffs because it's a different mentality and your team has got to play different. And Tony just couldn't do that. And as soon as we got John Gruden, he had that mentality, that rah rah in your face, punch him in the mouth, and we won a Super Bowl. And, Bowles doesn't have that. We've seen it. We get in the playoffs. Sometimes we play good. Sometimes we play bad. Blah, blah, blah. You get in the playoffs, man, you got to be a beast. You got to be vicious. And sometimes we just aren't like that because Bowles has got up on the wrong side of the bed or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Cohen does want to be a head coach. That's a good question. Cohen's got one of those looks where he could be 60 or he could be 30. You don't know. Let's look it up. How old is Liam Cohen? Born in 1985, so that would make him 40. All right. It's my math right there. 39. November 8th, 1985. Okay, so yeah, he's 39. Oh, he played for the Alabama Vipers. I didn't know that. What did he play? What was his? Was he a quarterback? He played quarterback at UMass. He was a 4-year starter? I did not know that. He wore number 12 as a quarterback in honor of his favorite athlete, Tom Brady. He was roommates with future NFL wide receiver Victor Cruz. As am I reading the right guy? I did not know all this about him. He holds 6 of the 8 UMass career passing records. Uh, the other two, the two records he doesn't hold. One of them is a very good one that you don't want him to hold, and it's the career interceptions. So he doesn't hold that record, and he does not hold the career yards per game average. In 2022, he was inducted in the UMass Athletics Hall of Fame. Check it out. I did not know that. Huh. I didn't know about any of this. I didn't know anything until he became a coach for the Rams and then Kentucky. Huh. Interesting. Did not know he used to be a quarterback. He does not look like a quarterback. I'm sorry. Yeah, they can't let him go, Joe. They can't. Oh, he was not the head coach at Kentucky. Oh no, he was an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Both times he was there. Huh. So yeah, so he's never been. He was a offensive coordinator at Maine. Huh. So he's always been an offensive coordinator. Easy to break records at UMass. Liam came out the same year as Goonies. That's a good one. And it's true too. Oh my gosh, if we lose to the Panthers, yeah, I will be calling for Bowles' job. No doubt about it. Yeah, man, we can't lose. We can't lose to the Panthers. I mean, it was close enough the first time. This time in a must-win situation. Yeah, no, we gotta beat the Panthers at home too. Joe was putting out fake news. Yeah. Astronaut high school. I didn't even know there was an astronaut high school. Yeah, we can't let Canales win in Tampa. Neil Armstrong was the best player to ever play at astronaut high school. I have no idea, Tom. Give me a hint. Buzz Lightyear. All right. So the Saints are playing the Packers tonight, right? Saints ain't got nothing to play for. They're out of it, right? Or are they? Let me check. NFL playoff picture. What do they have to say about it? I think they're out of it. Yeah, they're out of it. 5-9. Yeah, so the Giants, Panthers. So now we have more teams out of it than the AFC does. That's funny. A couple weeks ago, they had like five out. We had one. So the Cowboys are out, Cardinals are out, 49ers are out, Saints are out, Bears are out, Panthers are out, and Giants are out. So two from every division. Saints and Panthers from our division. Oh, only one from the NFC North, the Bears. Giants and Cowboys from the NFC East, and Cardinals, 49ers from the NFC West. So we're 8-7. The Seahawks are 8-7. Right now, the wild card is looking like the Rams. Wait a minute. Okay, so the Lions have the NFC North. Eagles right now have the NFC East. The Vikings have the. All right, the Vikings got a playoff spot, so that's one wild card spot down. So the Rams are in it with 9-6. They're still fighting. Who's leading the NFC West? The Rams? Yeah. This doesn't make any sense. I can't stand the NFL website. Okay, so the Rams have the NFC West right now, but it's not locked in. The Falcons have the NFC South right now, but it's not locked in. The Packers. So the Rams, Falcons, Packers, Commanders, Buccaneers, and Seahawks are all fighting for division. No, for a wild card spot or a division spot. Dang, that's a lot of people. 8-7. One, two. There's three 8-7 teams, one 9-6 team, and two 10-win teams. Yeah. And we got to win this division. I don't think we're going to get a wild card spot. Two 10-win teams and a 9-win team right now. It's three teams ahead of us in a wild card spot. Commanders are the number 7 wild card spot. So if Atlanta beats them, and that means Atlanta will have the division, most likely. So that would put Commanders at 10-6. So we would have to win the next two, and they'd have to lose the next two. Right? Yeah. Yeah, we have to win the next two, no matter what. If Atlanta loses one, then we win the division. So either the Commanders win. Well, we got to win the next two for sure. And if the Commanders win, then we can take the division. If the Commanders lose, then they got to lose next week too, and we can take a wild card. Who are they playing next week? Hopefully it's not the Giants. Or the week after the Falcons. Let me see. I hate the NFL website, NFL.com website. It's so dumb. It's been like this ever since they started a website. Okay, so they got to play at Cowboys week 18. So there's a chance. One of the greatest minds in football? Number 5 wild card is Minnesota. I don't think we can catch up with them. I think they are 11 wins, right? No, 13 wins. Yeah, we can't catch up with them. It's division or nothing. If the Redskins lose out and we win out, then we could take that spot. But that's if the Seahawks lose a game. Gosh, there's so many scenarios, but the best scenario is Falcons lose to the Redskins and then we win out. That's the best scenario. Class of 77. Oh, Tom Landry. Hey, Heather. Oh, is it Chris Collinsworth? No. Is it? Yeah, in order to tie the Commanders, we would need them to lose. Yeah, they'd have to lose out. We'd have to win out. Right? 8, 9, 10. Yeah. That would make us 10-7, and that make them 10-7. That's interesting because if they lose to the Falcons, then we have another route. We're gonna be cheering for the Cowboys week 18. Is Tom trolling us again? Oh my gosh, game's getting ready to start. Yeah, yeah. Then we'll have to go. Well, we probably play better on the road in the playoffs. Who knows with this team? I'm tired of trying to figure them out. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the chaos. It was Chris Collinsworth. He come from Titusville, Florida, Astronaut High School. Heather had to jump in. She knew that one. Class of 77. Did you guess that, Joe? See, I was gonna cheat and look it up, but you Googled it. That's cheating. I wanted to really bad. What did I say? Tom Landry. He was coaching in '77. That was a that was a dumb guess on my part. He was coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Uh, see what you deal with. You got a cheater. Hey, whatever it takes to win, man. I like cheaters. Yeah, hey, nobody laid any rules down, right? It wasn't technically cheating. All right, I got to get off here, go get something to eat, and get ready to watch this game. Maybe we'll see some football that's not so gut churning. The state 100-yard dash in Florida. Huh. Interesting. How do you know so much about Chris Collinsworth? You a Chris Collinsworth stan, Tom? All right, don't answer that. I got to get off here. Guys, I appreciate it. Tomorrow we're going to start looking at all 22 and figure out exactly what happened. I think we're going to see the same stuff on defense. I think we're going to see. I'm very interested on the hot reads, man. I didn't see any, and I think that really hurt Baker. But I don't know. I don't know how they implement it. Some quarterbacks call the hots in the huddle. Some of it's built into the play. Some of it the wide receivers have to do it. Have to figure out. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I just want to see if we had any. Tomorrow we're going to start all 22. So be there, be square. Until next time, go Bucks.